Do you have perfect English sentences in your head, but when you open your mouth, they disappear? Do you watch movies, understand jokes, and listen to podcasts with ease, but when someone asks you a simple question, you freeze? If you answered yes, take a deep breath. You are not alone, and you are not broken. You are just trapped behind a glass wall. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Best English Podcast. I'm Sarah, your guide on this journey. Today, we are not talking about grammar rules. We are not talking about vocabulary lists. Today, we are doing something much more important. We are going to unlock your voice. This episode is titled The Silence Breaker: How to Destroy the Fear of Speaking. Before we dive in, I have a small request. This episode is designed to be a workshop, not just a lecture. So, if you can, grab a notebook and a pen, or just open the Notes app on your phone. You are going to need it. Are you ready? Let's begin with a story. I want to introduce you to a man named Leo. Leo is a software engineer. He is smart. He is funny. In his native language, he is the life of the party. He tells jokes, he debates politics, he expresses complex ideas effortlessly. But in English, Leo becomes a shadow. Let me take you back to a specific Tuesday. Leo was in a Zoom meeting with international colleagues. He had a brilliant idea to fix a bug in the code. He knew exactly what to say. He rehearsed the sentence in his head. I think the issue is in the database connection, not the server. Perfect grammar, perfect logic. But then, the moment came. The manager asked, "Does anyone have any input?" Leo's heart started racing. His palms got sweaty. A voice in his head screamed, "What if you pronounce database wrong? What if they don't understand you? What if you look stupid?" The silence lasted for 5 seconds. Then, a colleague spoke up. The moment was gone. Leo remained silent. He muted his microphone and sighed. Leo told me later, "Sarah, English lives loudly in my head, but dies quietly on my lips." That sentence breaks my heart, because I know millions of you feel the same way. You are what I call silent understanders. You have the knowledge, you have the words, but there is a disconnect between your brain and your tongue. It feels like a glass wall. You can see the conversation on the other side. You want to touch it, but you can't break through. Today, we are going to smash that glass. To solve a problem, we must first understand it. Why couldn't Leo speak? Was it because his vocabulary was bad? No. Was it because his grammar was weak? No. The problem wasn't linguistic. It was psychological. There are 4 enemies living in your mind that stop you from speaking. We need to identify them, name them, and expose them. The first enemy, the perfectionism trap. This is the biggest enemy. The perfectionism trap tells you a lie. It says, if you cannot speak perfectly, do not speak at all. Imagine a child learning to walk. They stand up, they wobble, and they fall down. Do they think, "Oh no, I am a failure. I will never walk again"? Of course not. They get up, they wobble again. But as adults, we lose this freedom. We treat English like a test, not a tool. We edit our sentences in our heads before we speak them. We are like a writer who keeps hitting the delete button and never publishes the book. Here is the truth. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is connection. If you say, "he go to school," instead of "he goes to school," and the other person understands you, you have succeeded. You have communicated. Second enemy, the comparison monster. We live in the age of social media. You open Instagram or YouTube and you see a non-native speaker sounding exactly like an American or British person. They use slang, their accent is flawless, and you look at yourself and think, I am miles behind. I will never be that good. But listen to me closely. You are comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. You didn't see their years of struggle. You didn't hear their bad pronunciation 10 years ago. Comparison steals your joy. It makes you feel small. Third enemy, the identity crisis. This one is deep. Many of my students tell me, Sarah, when I speak English, I don't feel like myself. I feel fake. I feel like an actor wearing a costume that doesn't fit. In your native language, you are witty, intelligent, and deep. In English, you feel like a child. You can only express simple ideas. This hurts your ego. You prefer to stay silent to protect your intelligence. But here is a reframe. You are not losing your identity. You are building a new room in the house of your personality. Your English self is young right now. It needs time to grow up. Give it permission to be young. Fourth enemy, the spotlight effect. This is the fear that everyone is watching you and judging you. When Leo was in that meeting, he thought everyone was analyzing his grammar. He thought, if I make a mistake, they will all laugh at me. Here is the brutal, beautiful truth. People don't care as much as you think. People are selfish. They're thinking about their own lunch, their own deadlines, or their own insecurities. They are not hunting for your grammar mistakes. They just want to know what you mean. They want your idea, not your grammar. So, my friend, which enemy is holding you back? Is it the perfectionist, the comparison monster, the identity crisis, or the spotlight effect? Maybe it's all four. Take a second right now. I want you to say it out loud. Yes, speak to me. Tell me which one is your biggest enemy. I'll wait. Thank you for being honest. Admitting it is the first step. Now that we have identified the enemies, how do we fight them? How do we actually open our mouths and let the words out? Maybe it is the spotlight effect. Or maybe, like Leo, you are fighting all four at once. Take a second right now. Be honest with yourself. Which voice is the loudest in your head? Acknowledging that voice is the first step, but let's be real. Naming the enemy doesn't make it go away. You can know you are a perfectionist, but you still freeze when the phone rings. You don't just need analysis. You need a weapon. And this is where Leo's story changes. Leo didn't go back to grammar books. Instead, he discovered a 3-step strategy, a set of psychological tools that turned his silence into confidence. And the best part? You can start using them today. Here is the first tool Leo used to smash that glass wall. First strategy, the 3-second rule. The biggest reason we freeze is not lack of vocabulary, it is overthinking. When you have a thought, your brain has a very short safety window, about 3 seconds. If you don't speak within those 3 seconds, your brain enters the fear cycle. It starts whispering, wait, is that the right verb tense? What about your accent? Are you sure? Leo realized that waiting for the perfect moment was killing his speech. So he adopted the 3-second rule. When he has an idea in a meeting, he mentally counts 3, 2, 1, go. He forces himself to open his mouth before the fear can paralyze him. Even if he just starts with a filler word like well or You know, the goal is to beat the fear to the finish line, because action kills fear, but hesitation feeds it. Once you start speaking, you need a safe place to practice. That brings us to second strategy, the shower speaker technique. Think about it. Leo only tried to speak English in high-pressure situations, like business meetings. That is like trying to learn how to swim in the middle of a tsunami. You need a laboratory, a safe zone where mistakes don't matter. Leo started talking to himself. In the shower, while driving, while cooking dinner, he would narrate his life out loud. Now I am chopping the onions. I hate onions. I need a sharper knife. Why does this work? Because it connects your brain to your tongue without the pressure of judgment. You get comfortable hearing your own voice in English. If you can speak to yourself freely, speaking to others becomes just one small step further. But what happens when you are finally speaking to someone and suddenly your mind goes blank? You forget a word. This is the ultimate nightmare, right? This is where the third and most important strategy comes in. Third strategy, the bridge technique. Leo used to freeze whenever he forgot a specific word, like database or negotiation. He would stop and apologize. The bridge technique is simple. If you forget a word, build a bridge around it. Describe it. If you forget the word umbrella, don't panic. Say, the thing we hold over our heads when it rains. If you forget expensive, just say, it costs too much money. Let me take you to the final scene of our story. 3 months after that disastrous Tuesday, Leo was in another meeting. A similar problem came up. He had an idea. His heart started beating fast. The perfectionist whispered, "Be quiet." But this time, Leo counted. 3, 2, 1. He unmuted his microphone. He started speaking. Halfway through, he forgot a technical term. But instead of freezing, he built a bridge. He described what he meant. Was his English perfect? No. He made grammar mistakes. His accent was still strong. But did his team understand? Yes. His manager nodded and said, "That's a great point, Leo. Let's do that." In that moment, the glass wall didn't just crack, it shattered. Leo realized that his imperfect English was valuable, but his silence was useless. And this is the truth I want you to carry with you today. Language is not a trophy to be put on a shelf and admired for its perfection. It is a bridge. It is a tool to connect souls. When you stay silent because you are afraid of making a mistake, you are not protecting yourself. You are robbing the world. You are robbing us of your ideas, your humor, your intelligence, and your unique perspective. The world doesn't need more perfect English speakers. We have textbooks for that. We have AI for that. The world needs you. So, I am not going to ask you to study more grammar this week. Instead, I have a different challenge for you. I want you to use the 3-second rule just once. Just one time. Tomorrow, go to a coffee shop and speak to the barista. Ask a question in a meeting. Send a voice message to a friend. Do it afraid. Do it imperfectly, but just speak. You are capable. You have the tools. Now, go break the silence. I'm Sarah, and I can't wait to hear your voice. So, we have met the first two villains, the perfectionist, who acts like a cruel editor, and the comparator, who steals your joy by comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. But they are not alone. There is a third enemy hiding in the shadows, the imposter. The imposter is that voice that says, "You are a professional in your own language. You are smart. You are a CEO, but in English, you sound like a child. It attacks your identity, making you feel small and unworthy of being heard. And finally, there is the fourth enemy, the most deceptive one. Psychologists call it a cognitive bias. It makes you believe that you are the center of the universe, but in the worst way possible. It convinces you that everyone in the room is staring at your mouth, analyzing your grammar, and judging your every pause. So, now that we've turned on the lights and seen them clearly, I have a question for you. Which one is holding you back right now? Is it the perfectionist? Is it the imposter?